our Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, we are doing Canto 1, chapter 18, and we had completed till verse 43, in which we have understood that the sage's son has already given a curse to this king, that a bird, a black bird, it's called a snake bird, is going to come and peck him and he is going to die in 7 days. Now when the father comes to know about it, he is very upset about it because he was very hot-headed. The son was very hot-headed. He should not have said those words. See, when a person is angry, they will say whatever that comes to their mind. They will even utter a curse, they will say all kinds of bad words, not understanding the repercussions that they are creating in the universe. The repercussions are very, very big. These repercussions may not appear apparent to them right there and then, but they affect the universe in a different manner. So today in the first 2 verses, we are going to actually learn how this kind of loose statements that any person makes in this world can be detrimental not only to the world but to that individual as well. So we are today going to understand this. So it is always advisable to restrict yourself from uttering statements which are harsh. Okay, so today's satsang we will begin with these utterances which can affect the world. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter 18, verse 44. Due to the termination of the monarchical regime and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animal and women will be stolen. For all these sins we shall be responsible. See the last line, we shall be responsible. See, in our material world, we have utterances. We talk some nonsense. Suppose somebody is doing something wrong. We immediately say some bad words to that person. Let us say a person is cutting you in the middle of the road, and you immediately say a 4-letter word and curse that person. He is going to go to hell. You know, that kind of language a person uses. Now, you have done these utterances. You may not understand the impact it's going to have on that individual and yourself. Everybody thinks that it is a simple language. If you go to a Twitter or an X platform, you will find that there are lots of people who are making loose statements. Have you noticed it? In the last 1 year's time, if you see in Twitter, you will find that there were statements which were favoring some people and they were not favoring some people. Even the owner of Twitter, owner means the CEO of Twitter, also did the same thing. These statements affect everybody around. They can impact a nation, they can impact a kingdom also. See the line which says, due to the termination of the monarchical regime and the plundering of people's wealth. What does it mean? Many years ago, there was a king of Iran. His name was Raja Shah Pahlavi. Okay. One day there was a coup. He was thrown out. Ayatollah Khomeini came and took over. So when the regime got thrown out, of the king, what happened to Iran was something very drastic and dramatic. Earlier, there was a Western culture in Iran, and suddenly the Western culture vanished. The women were not allowed to study. Everybody was put in a burqa. This was what happened in Iran. The king was exiled. Similarly, in a neighboring country called Nepal. This country is very close to India. There was a king and a queen. Now, King Bir Bikram Birendra was his name. Now, Bir Bikram Birendra and his wife and some relatives were sitting for tea. And Bikram Birendra's cousins, his son took a gun and shot everybody dead. The king died, the wife died, that is the queen died, everybody died, and he took over the kingdom. In less than few years, maybe a year or 2 years, the kingdom was taken over by another regime. I visited this country long ago. I was a guest with the king. This happened many years ago. And even when there was no, seat on the flight, the Royal Nepal Airlines, which was owned by the king, I was given a seat by the brother, another brother. He came and he put me in the seat over there. And I flew back to India. Now this king was shot dead. The whole country became a communist nation. From being a Hindu country, 99% Hindu nation, it suddenly became a communist nation. The influence of China was there. When that happened, Nepal, which was growing, suddenly the growth came to a standstill. The monarchical regime went away. So these are two examples I have given. See the verse which says, due to termination of the monarchical regime and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves. You may be surprised to know that this happened in England as well. In England, there was a person called Oliver Cromwell. Now, Oliver Cromwell went and threw the king out. And he took charge. But later on, the monarchy came back. So the Industrial Revolution and all that happened. This is prior to the Renaissance period. So if you were to read about Oliver Cromwell, you will understand what exactly happened. He literally went in the parliament and lifted the scepter. That big long stick that is there, and declared himself as the ruler. Please remember this. Whenever there is a change of guard, it not only affects that individual, but it affects everyone. When you say some loose words, or when you say certain things, it can affect a lot of people around you. The person who is the ruler can get affected very badly also. He can get overthrown. Think like that. Because of bad words, kings can get overthrown. The ruler of the kingdom can be thrown out. And then there is chaos and misery in that kingdom. Then who takes over? The rogues and the thieves take over. I am sure you remember, and those who have seen, there is a very beautiful story of the French Revolution. During the French Revolution, the king and the queen and all their associates, which is the, people who were ruling the kingdom of France, they were guillotined. Their heads were put on the block. And people were knitting. How many people were killed on that day? That is the French Revolution. You know those words, the egalite, fraternity and all that came from the French Revolution. Right? So these things happened. The whole of the kingdom came to ruins. Countries like England were able to take charge of that place. It can happen. And that is the reason why first you need to control your mouth and your mind. So now let me give you examples in your own life. A mother may curse the child. If the child is naughty or if the child is misbehaving, the mother immediately says some bad word. Or the father says something. It is wrong on the part of the mother or the father. Parents should not be saying anything bad about their children. Neither should the children speak anything bad about the parents. If you remember this story which we are learning, it is the young boy who was the son of the Rishi was talking bad about the king. The king is ruling that country. He has not done anything to you. He has done a simple act like a stupid, individual. He has gone and put a snake around, a dead snake that too. It is a childish prank, how children are. Children are always used to just childish prank. That man did that childish prank. And that affected the son so badly that he uttered nonsensical words and the king was put into a jeopardy. Now, this story is only talking to us about the king, King Parikshit. But after Parikshit dies, a big problem arose in that country, Indraprastha, wherever he was ruling. That is not mentioned in the scripture anywhere. Because our story is only limited to this much. But let me assure you, it affected very badly. Because if there is no king, there is a problem. I am sure you have heard the story of the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama was the uncrowned king of Lhasa, Tibet. And in the year 1959, he had to run to India. Today, from 1959 till today, he is staying in India. Why? He is in exile. Tibet is no longer an independent country. Tibet was a part of the Indian plateau, by the way, by India. Tibet was Indian, but it was usurped. It was taken away. Today we have to apply for permission to go even to Kailasha, Mount Kailash. It's in China. You can't just go there like that. So when he was thrown out, he had to come to India. The Indian government was kind enough to give him properties in India where he could establish the Tibetan camps. Even today there are camps. Very close to Bangalore there is a place called Hunsur. There is a very big camp over there. Now it's literally like a permanent thing. They are there since 59. So there were lots of places in India, they were given land and told you can put up a colony over here. It can destroy an entire kingdom. It can destroy anybody and everybody. His country is in exile. When I was, 2001 to 2007, the ambassador to India, the Tibetan ambassador to India, was a friend of mine. He would send his car to ferry me around the town. A regal person. So there is a lot of things that can go wrong. And that is the reason why we all have to keep our mouth shut. We are not supposed to utter bad words. We are not supposed to say things which can really come true tomorrow. Think like that. Many a times we all have this habit of having loose talk, especially when anger or something like that happens. Remember, this is the sage's son who said in anger. He's not supposed to be angry, but yet he said that. So this has caused a king to die. I want you to think of it. Was the son of that sage enlightened? He was not. Then what was the problem? Was Gandhari enlightened? No. Did she utter some bad words against Krishna? Krishna, you will see your entire family die in front of your eyes. You are cursing an entire family by saying those words? Think about it. Gandhari, who was not even, she had no idea of spirituality, no S of spirituality also. In her anger, she was in the wrong because her sons declared war, which she is not willing to acknowledge. See, human beings, when they are getting angry or something like that, they themselves never acknowledge the reason for their own anger. They think that they are justified. Justification can create lot of issues in people's lives. Gandhari's curse worked magic. The entire Yadu Vansh was destroyed just because of a loose words from an old woman, a worthless old woman who had her closed her eyes. You know what it means to close your eyes? Human beings who don't understand reality. They don't have practical knowledge. This woman had absolutely no practical knowledge. She didn't see, Draupadi being dragged by her hair. Think about it. If Gandhari was dragged by her hair and made to take out all her clothes in front of the audience, would it have been same? No. This she has forgotten. Her own husband tried to kill Bhim. Her own children poisoned everybody. They burned the house down where these people were staying, the Lakshagraha. They were the villains of the highest order. And yet, being a mother, she's supporting her children because they died in the battlefield. And she uttered loose words. When a person utters loose words, it can cause a lot of misery. Now, let me give you another example of Gandhari. Why did she put that thing on her top of her eyes? She wanted to become a martyr in the eyes of her own husband. Please understand, this is not a done thing. God has given you eyes, it is your job to see the world. And at least rule in favor of your that king of yours. But instead of that, she behaved like as if she is a person who needs to be taken a backseat. What are you talking about? Even when Shivaji was very young, his mother was ruling the kingdom. I don't know whether you know about this. Shivaji's father died and Jizabai was her name, was ruling the kingdom till her son came of age. She was an iron lady. We all have to learn from these things. It is important, and not curse anybody and not say words which are loose. And that is what people will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. For all these sins we shall be responsible. So whoever utters these kind of words, they fall into something which is called the karmic loop. See, this is not explained here, but I am going to give you an explanation. The moment you say something bad about another person, suppose you say there is a person who has taken a piece of bread from you, okay, because he is very hungry, and you call him a robber, you call him a thief, you call him names, and you put him in a jail or something like that, and you curse that man, and you say, you know what, you should go and whatever, something you say. Even if you say these words that you should go and roast in hell. Sir, please remember, this person, you have done something to this person. It is called an action. You have committed an action. That action will have a reaction in the form of a return karma. In the future life sometimes, he is going to be in your place and you are going to be in that place. You will rob him, and then he has to utter these same words. Do you think this is okay? Who started this all? Your loose tongue started this all. So control your tongue and control that anger of yours. It is extremely important to control the tongue and control the anger. At that time, verse 45, at that time the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagement of the caste and the order of society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. This is a scripture. There is a very ominous statement made over here. The ominous statement says very clearly that if you are doing this, if you overthrow the king, if you are saying some bad words against the rulers of this land, you know, today's day, everybody speaks ill about the ruler in this country also. Even in America, even in all the foreign nations, there are going to be a lot of people who speak bad against the person who is ruling. Please remember one thing. That person has been appointed by the will of God. It is not some will of some idiots. That person who is ruling the country has been appointed by the will of the divine Lord himself. Does that answer your question? You may say, no, the people elected. Sorry. Everything happens by the will of God. If he has been appointed by the will of God, can you say something like that? No. It is our job to keep our mouth shut. You may get a chance in the next election to throw that person out. That is a different story. Today, isn't somebody saying this on X, on Twitter, that I am going to float a new party? Think about it. There is someone talking like this. Even in India, the whole thing is like that. But currently there is a ruler. Currently somebody is ruling that. You may usurp that person. You may throw that person. Somebody will kill that person. Something is going to happen. During the time of Indira Gandhi also, I am sure you have seen, somebody came and shot her. Rajiv Gandhi also was shot. He was, explosion. Assassinations happen. Things happen. All in a manner which may not be required at that point in time. when that happens, things can take a wrong turn. And it is possible something like this dreadful can take place. So he says, at that time, people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization. The civilization which was progressing in a very steady manner, because the whole thing upturned, now there is a break over there and reverse thing starts happening. So you might have gone 10 steps forward. Now because of this happening, because of your loose words or whoever has said those loose words, that king has died or whoever that person is not there in position. Now what has happened to the kingdom? 10 steps forward and 10 steps backward. So what has happened to the growth? Zero growth. See, today we have to understand systematically how this works. When the country is having a very steady head of states, the countries can progress systematically. But when there is an opposition, or when there is a different party at the center and different party at the state level, do you know the state doesn't grow only? In the United States, there are the Republican president is there, and there are some states which are democratic. In India, the BJP is the ruler, is the state, the country, and some states are different type. They are not BJP ruled. Like Karnataka is ruled by Congress. Tamil Nadu is ruled by DMK. So every place is ruled by some other. Now one person is against the other person. How will development happen? That is what he is talking about. The systematic fall from the path of progressive civilization in respect of qualitative engagements. Even the caste and the order of the society will have a problem. See, in the French Revolution, all the aristocrats were killed. Were aristocrats killed? Now, I want you to understand something. If I am going to say appoint a person from the roadside as a king who has no knowledge of how to rule a kingdom, he has absolutely no understanding how to rule a kingdom. Do you expect that person to rule properly? He has no knowledge, he has no understanding, he is only there to make money, and all what is written over here you will see. Thus they are more attracted to economic development for sense gratification. So if these kind of people come and rule the country, their only job is to take money, to make money for themselves. So during the French Revolution, this is what happened. Right? All the aristocratic people from the society were thrown out. They were killed. Their necks were cut off. And then the common man took over. When the common man takes over, what happens to the country? The common man has no idea how to rule a country. See, today also you will find that some countries have dictatorial people. Some countries have democratic, it's a democratic nation. So these differences can be visibly seen. Can you not see the visible difference? So there is a visible difference. If there is a continuation of the guard, the same kind of people, then there is a systematic growth. But power can go to the head of a person. That is something which is not mentioned over here. But let me also correct you, if you are thinking that one regime takes over all the time, then corruption is going to be there. Here we are talking about somebody gets thrown out. So here King Parikshit is thrown out because he is going to die. the kingdom can face a lot of difficulties is what this sage is talking about. The sage is talking about this. See, the sages have a way of talking. Please understand, Srimad Bhagavatam is a valid document even for today. There may be no kings over here. There may be very few places where there are kings. But there are places where the rulers are there. They are the people who rule the country. And if those people are tyrants, there are going to be problems. And some person is weak and he gets thrown out. Then what happens? A lot of chaos happens. So they will be only interested in their own development, economic development of their sense gratification. They want to make money from themselves. They will try to fill their pockets only. That's it. And as a result, there will be unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. Do I need to give you an example? There are some countries in this world where there was so much of chaos. You don't know about how India had to face this problem. Let me refresh your memory. Indira Gandhi, she was the Prime Minister of India when she had to start this program, because all the World Bank and all these United Nations and every country in the world was pointing fingers at India. You know what they were saying about India? You people are growing like pigs, you're just growing and growing and growing. You're keeping on having children. India's population is going to be the largest in the world. And today you don't have food to eat. So forcibly they should all be, family planning was to be done forcibly. This is what happened in India in 70s. People, youngsters like you may have no idea of how we have faced the world in the past. People were literally taken from their houses and forcibly they were given this, That was not correct. But today India is the largest populated country in the world. What is he saying? If this kind of rulers are there in India or any other country, these rulers are going to be only bothered about filling their own pockets. They are bothered about economic development only for self-gratification. And because they are doing that, they are not paying attention to a lot of things. That is why human beings are going to keep on multiplying like pigs, like dogs and monkeys. Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about this. In India also this is happening today. People are not paying attention. The population of India has crossed 1.47 billion. It's a small country compared to China. China is, I think, 3 or 5 times bigger than India. We don't even have land. And this is a very dangerous thing. So we need to take care of the population. We need to control the population. We need to have good leadership. Leadership is important in every country, in every nation in the world, so that there is a very serious development. So in this verse 45 from Srimad Bhagavatam, the sage is telling his son that by uttering such kind of words out of turn, you have created chaos in the world. Verse 46, Emperor Parikshit is a pious king. He is highly celebrated and is a first-class devotee of the personality of Godhead. He is a saint among royalty and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When such a king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with hunger and thirst, he does not at all deserve to be cursed. See, when somebody is tired and hungry and fatigued, we should never curse another person. This person should never be cursed by you. if there is already somebody who is falling down in life, these poor people, they will go and rob something. They will rob a piece of bread or some small thing. They are already down and out. And on top of it, you are going to curse them. Instead of giving them that piece of bread, you are cursing them and saying something bad. The karmic action which you are responsible for, you are anyway going to suffer, and you are going to make them suffer as well. So here in this case, the son of this Rishi Muni is telling him, his son, that by uttering this kind of loose words, you have actually put this king down. His name is King Parikshit. He is a very pious king. He has done a lot of Ashwamedh Yagyas. That means he was a very devoted king, and he was also spiritual. See, when there is a king who is spiritual and who is devoted and who is doing good to the land, it is not right on the path of anybody to curse that person. We all have to help this person to make this kingdom better. But if you go against this law and if you are trying to say some words which are detrimental, you are anyway going to go to hell yourself. And you will in turn put the other person in trouble also. Because that person is facing a lot of flack from your side and from the other opposition, isn't it? So, such a king is tired and fatigued and being stricken with hunger and thirst. He does not at all deserve to be cursed. He does not deserve to be cursed. There are many a times when nations which are going steadily on their path, some other country they don't like to see something good happening in another country. And they will deliberately make plans and destroy that land. Think about it. In India, so many times this has happened. In the past, lot of times, people have taken over the land, they have destroyed places, they have done a lot of bad things. The rulers were ruling properly and that was destroyed. This happened even way back in 2000, 2500 years, 3000 years ago. Same thing happened. And continuing even today. The idea is not to do this kind of things. When somebody is really trying very hard to do some good for the land, it's our job to help the person, not pull that person down. Because that person doesn't deserve to be cursed. So in this example, the line 46 says, the verse 46 says that this sage's son who has cursed the king, King Parikshit, he says the king is tired. You see, the entire Kauravas, Pandavas, everybody is gone. Now he is trying to rule a big kingdom. He is a very pious king. He has done all kinds of sacrifices, he has done everything good for the land. And today he is tired. Today he is hungry. Today he is thirsty. He had come to take refuge in the place. At such point in time, instead of being help to him, you have uttered curses to him, which is very, very dangerous, which should not have been done. So tomorrow, if anybody comes to your door, I'm telling all you people, and if you see that person is tired, upset, hurt, is hungry, is thirsty, please provide him with food and water and all that. Be a little grateful that God has given you everything. People, they don't consider the other person to be given any help. No, please don't do that. Have a little consideration for people in your life. When you see a poor man who has come to your door, give him food, water, or whatever that is possible. Even it might be a maid working in your house. If she is working at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it is your duty to give her food. You are not doing any favor to her. Actually, you are favoring yourself. You don't understand this. The favor is to you, not to that person. Please remember this. You know, a few days ago, I was telling Rajma something. I said, see Rajma, if somebody asks you a question, the Guru Purnima is there, what should I give Guruji? I told her, please, I don't want anything. I already have 100 t-shirts. Why do you want to give me more? I already have so many, I don't wear anything. Have you seen anything being worn by me? Nothing. I don't want anything from anybody. So I told her, they can donate to the ashram or to the Gurukul. See, we have a foundation account. Please don't give goods which are of no use to us. No. You can donate to the charitable organization. You can take benefits also. We have 12A and 80G benefits also in our foundation. It is okay. It is going for legitimate purposes. The legitimate purposes, accounts are well maintained over here. You can come any time during a day or a night. We will show you exactly even the last penny where it is going. Everything is maintained very strictly. But this question, what should I do? Please don't ask this kind of questions. It's of no use. No goods are of any use. Okay? There is no point. So here understand what is it that this person who comes to your house is looking for. Maybe they are thirsty. Maybe they are hungry. Satiate their food and their thirst desires. They are looking for only water. They are looking only for food. Give them that. I was listening to one Swamiji recently. And this person was talking sense. He said every day we are serving more than 3,000 to 5,000 people. They come to our temple. He said you can give food to 100 people over there. And he showed me how they give the food. I was very happy to see that. That is good enough. He is not saying you give me money. Please transfer it to that account. See, our job is what? We want legitimate use of the money, isn't it? If you want to see the legitimate use of the money, give it for legitimate purposes. Right? So that is how you have to do. The answer lies in this, that any person who is coming to ask you for, water or even food, please provide him with that. But don't go after these fake guys who will sit outside the temple and keep on begging from everybody. You will see them sitting there every day. They earn thousands of rupees for that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimate and people who really deserve it. So you have to become a smart person to understand that. I hope you get that point. So, verse 47, then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading Sri Krishna to pardon his immature boy who has no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. See, the loose words uttered by this son of the Rishi, This person, this Rishi's son, is unintelligent himself. So in your life also, if you think you are intelligent or you are unintelligent, whichever way you say, please don't utter some kind of curses and some kind of bad words against others. The Rishi Muni is asking pardon from Sri Krishna. He is saying to Sri Krishna, please pardon my son who is an idiot par excellence. Who is there in your life to pardon you? Tell me. You think Krishna is going to come and pardon you if you say, loose words to whoever you feel like in your life? Please don't utter bad words to anybody. Whether it is to a child or whether it is to an elder or whether it is to a dog or a cat or whatever, it's okay. They are doing it out of their nature. Somebody does something out of their nature. The words that let him rot in hell, let him go to hell, let him do this, these kind of words are very dangerous. You don't know the repercussions it's going to cause you. It caused repercussions to even Sri Krishna. Do you understand this? And that is the reason why stay away from uttering bad words to people. So he says, please forgive this immature boy who has no intelligence and he has committed the great sin. When you curse a person who is above board, like Krishna is above board, he is beyond everything. When somebody is cursing Sri Krishna or somebody is cursing, say King Parikshit, so in your life also, you may curse a sage or a saint or a good person in life. That person may be a genuine person. And if you utter some bad words or if you say something, that is the greatest of the sins that you have committed. Committing the great sins of cursing a person who is completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. He should be protected. Please understand, many a times there are people in this world, out of nature they say some words. Your job is not to go and curse those people. It is their nature. See, think about it. The dog has a nature of barking. Okay? So in some households there are dogs who bark. Right? Now, what do? You hate that dog barking, so you go and curse him and say, you're going to rot in hell or some nonsense. You need to be poisoned. These are your words. You are saying it to the dog. The dog is doing his duty. The dog is following its nature. It is not your job to go and say those words to the dog. Don't go over there. Or if you go over there, don't utter bad words. See, if there is a ruler of the country and you think he is a bad fellow or something like that, it is not your job to say something bad about him. Because you will be in that position. You are going to suffer more than him or her. Similarly, your job is not to do anything wrong. So do not curse a person. And that is why this sage is praying to Sri Krishna and saying, please pardon my son for uttering these kind of words. In your life, do you have anybody like this sage who will forgive you or who will ask Sri Krishna for pardon? If you have nobody, then please understand that you have caused the greatest of the sin yourself. Alright? And this is a very important verse for you to not utter loose words and say whatever that comes to your mind. Okay, so we have come to the end of verse 47. We will stop here for today.
Recording stopped.